Hello, everyone. It's me, Mrs. Groner, and today we're going to be making some beautiful water cycle pictures. Let's take a look at what we need to complete this project. Here's what you'll need. You'll need paper, colors, cotton balls, glue, and scissors. Now, if you just have plain white paper, that's fine. It will work great. If you have colored construction paper, it's also a great way to do this project. You can even use construction paper scraps like I have in my hand. Okay, let's get started with our water cycle. The first thing we want to do is make a nice big sheet of paper to create our water cycle picture. So if you have a large piece of white paper, great. If you don't, I'm going to take these two pieces of white paper and glue them together in the center. So I'm going to take my glue stick right here and just add a strip of glue down the center. Just one strip right down the center, right down there. And then I'm going to stick them together. Now, if you remember, when we stick pieces of paper together, one of the most important things about using a glue stick is that you press hard, which is what I'm doing right now, pressing hard, and you let it dry for a moment before you do anything else. So I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now I have a nice big sheet of paper to create my water cycle on. That will help because there are a lot of parts that I need to include in my water cycle. Now, the next thing that I want you to do is write out all of the important steps of the water cycle. So you might want to pause the video at this time so that you can write out the words evaporation, condensation, precipitation, collection. Those words are the 4 parts of the water cycle we're going to want to label in our big pictures. If you need to stop and pause the video, do that now. If you've got it, then we're going to cut these out so that they're ready to go when we create our pictures. I'm just going to cut these out really quickly. And I'm going to want to glue them on separately. So there we go, have that. Evaporation, condensation, precipitation, collection, and again. Now, all of my pieces of the water cycle, my labels, are cut out. So I'm going to set these off to the side where I won't lose them. And I'll get started with the next part. Okay, for our water cycle, the whole thing that makes the water cycle work is the energy from the sun. So I wanted to put my sunshine on some nice bright yellow paper. I'm even going to use a yellow marker to draw a big sun on my sheet of yellow construction paper. If you don't have yellow paper, just draw the sun right onto your big white sheet of paper that you made. Oh, I love this sun. This is going to be really beautiful on my water cycle page. I want to make sure that anyone who looks at my picture can see that the energy from the sun is what helps make the water cycle work. Because you have to have sun's energy to warm up the water molecules in the ocean and on the land. I love that. It's so cool. The sun is really awesome. Oh, love the sun. I'm almost done cutting it out. Now, when I glue this sunshine onto my paper, I don't want to just stick it in the middle. I don't want to just stick it in the corner. I'm going to stick it on my paper here so that it kind of sticks up. That makes it look kind of cool. And I am going to put it in the middle so that you can see how important it is. You could put your sun over on the side if you want to. It's really up to you, as long as you include all of the parts of the water cycle. So now I'm going to glue my sunshine to the top. And remember, when we use our glue sticks and put our glue on, because I'm sticking this off, I'm only going to do half of my sunshine. I'm also going to take some time so that it dries. So once I get this on here, I'm going to have it sticking up off of there. Oh, that looks so neat. Look at that, sun. And then I'm even going to write the word sun on my sun. I think I'll use red this time because yellow doesn't really show up very well. Now that my sun is nicely glued on there, I'm writing the word sun on there. Okay, now we need some water in our water cycle picture. And I always like to show the ocean when I talk about the water cycle because we have so much water in the Earth's oceans, and the Earth's oceans are such an important part of the water cycle. So I'm going to take my blue marker or crayon or whatever you have, colored pencils are fine. I'm going to draw the ocean, but I'm only going to draw it about halfway across. And I kind of like how I glued that together because I can see where the halfway mark is. I'm going to draw the ocean over there. I don't want to have it across my whole page because I want to add some land and some other fun things. So here's my ocean. And do you know what I'm going to do in this ocean? There we go. That was an easy way to draw the ocean. I'm even going to draw some little water drops swimming in the ocean because those little water drops, they love to swim in the ocean. Okay, so there they are. There's my ocean with water drops. Now, if you have blue colored paper, you could always cut out blue colored paper and add it down there for the ocean. Okay, now I need some land. So I'm going to use some green. I want to draw some green grass in my water cycle. And I also, so here's some nice green. Oh, this is good. Green, 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 green. You'll see what this looks like in a moment. And I also want to add underneath the green grass. Look at that green, an important part of the water cycle. Do you know what it is? I'm so glad you remembered. Groundwater. Yeah, so much water goes down underneath the grass and forms streams of groundwater. So I'm going to draw some groundwater that's just kind of going and flowing into the ocean. That's pretty neat. Good. Okay, so now I have some grass, I have groundwater, I have my ocean, and now I want to draw a tall mountain. So I'm going to take and draw a tall mountain over here coming down to the grass. Oh my goodness, look at that. There's a mountain. Notice I made it flat on top. I did that because I wanted it to look like there's snow up there. I'm just going to make it pointy with my gray crayon. Oh, that looks pretty cool. Look at that. Wow, there's my mountain. And of course, my mountain has snow on it. So I'm just going to use my blue because white won't show up on white paper. I'm going to draw so it looks like it's snowing down on the mountain. There we go. Good. There we go, snowing onto the mountain, lots of snow. And I'm going to draw a flower growing in my grass because remember, some of the water comes down and gets drank up by plants like flowers and other beautiful things. So I'm going to put just a flower here. I really want to add a lot of wonderful details to my water cycle picture to really show what's happening in the water cycle. So there we go. I have snow up here at my mountain. I have my flower, but I'm missing something really important. I'm missing my clouds. Now, this is where you can take your cotton balls. Here's my cotton ball, and you're going to want to glue them into the sky to make a cloud. There are two ways you can do this. If you want, you can kind of draw a fluffy cloud first. I kind of like to do it that way. It's just kind of easier to get the clouds onto the page. So I'm going to draw some clouds, but I'm just not just going to draw one. I want to draw two because clouds are a super important part of the water cycle. They're where we see condensation. So there we go. Here are my clouds. Now I get to take my cute fluffy cotton balls and glue those on. I'm going to need to use a lot of glue to make my cotton balls stick. Now there are two ways I can do this. I can just stick my cotton ball straight onto my cloud, and I'll do that with one of my clouds. I'll stick some cotton balls straight down on. Oh, these clouds look so cool with the cotton balls on them. It is amazing. I'm going to use 3 of my cotton balls just to stuck onto the cloud like that. I'm going to show you something else really fun you can do with your cotton balls for my next cloud. So there's one cloud. Look how cool that is. It's so fluffy. The other thing you can do with your cotton ball that's kind of fun is if you want, you can take your cotton ball and stretch it out. See that? Ooh, that really looks like a neat cloud, doesn't it? I'm going to take one more cotton ball and I'm going to stretch it out too. Look at that. I'm going to pull it and it stretches. Oh, cool. Now I'm going to put these stretchy cotton balls on my other cloud. There we go. Here it is. You get lots of glue again because the cotton balls don't stick quite as easily to the paper. So here's my fluffy cotton balls, stick it on and press. Here's my other fluffy one. Ooh, this cloud looks neat too. And I like how you can still see the gray that I drew right there. Oh, that's awesome. Now, I'm not done. I have some of the important parts of the water cycle in my picture, but I'm missing something important. I'm missing precipitation. I do have a little bit over here to show snow, but I'm going to draw some rain over here. So let me use my blue crayon and I'm going to draw raindrops falling down, down, down onto the flower. Now, the big word for when flowers drink in the water from the water cycle and then it evaporates back up to the sky is actually called transpiration. Yeah, it's a big word too. Transpiration is what happens when the plants drink the water, and then the water, when it evaporates back from the plant, is called transpiration. There we go. So now we have rain there. Now I'm ready to add my labels. Now, one thing I can do with my labels to make them really show up is I can draw around them. I think I might use a purple marker because I haven't used purple yet, and I think that they'll stand out. So I'm going to draw just a box around these words. Collection. Well, I definitely know where that goes in my water cycle. I want to put the collection word right down. I'm going to add it in between the ocean and the groundwater. There we go. Collection. Very good. Now, precipitation. I'm going to go ahead and put it up here by my mountain because I'm going to draw a box around it again too, because it really stands out that way. And I want those important water cycle words to stand out in my picture. So now I'm going to glue precipitation right there on my water cycle to the place where it's raining and snowing. Look at that precipitation. Okay, now my next word that I have to add is condensation. Where does condensation go? Of course, it goes by the cloud. I think I'll put it by the first cloud because my second cloud has the precipitation word by it. And I don't want anybody to get confused with what those two things are when they see my water cycle. Now I've got one more. Evaporation. Now, this is something that I haven't drawn yet, so we need to draw that in the picture. And I'm going to use my gray crayon because evaporation is when the water molecules get heated up by the sun and they evaporate into the sky. So I'm going to draw my gray water drops kind of evaporating into the sky up here. They're kind of happy. They like flying up to the sky. It's fun for those little guys. Evaporation. Okay, so now I have my little water drops evaporating up into the sky, and I'm going to make a box around the word evaporation so it shows up better. And then I'm going to add that word to the picture where the raindrops are evaporating. And do you know what I'm going to do? This word, I kind of am running out of room and I want it to show up. So I'm going to make it stick off the edge. That's kind of fun. I like having the little pieces stick out. It makes your picture look really cool. So here we go. I'm going to add this word here. Evaporation. Now, I'm still not done. I've got one more thing that I want to do. I want to add some arrows to my picture now so that people can follow the water cycle. So I'm going to start with energy from the sun. I want to show the energy from the sun going down to the earth and down to the water. So I'm going to draw 3 arrows, I think, showing the sun's energy heating up the earth. And I'm using red just because I think red's a good sunshine color, right? It shows it's heating up the water, it's heating up the earth, and that helps things. So there's the sun's energy. Do you see it? It's heating things up. Now, I'm going over to evaporation. What's happening with evaporation? Well, those water drops are going into the sky. So I want to add some arrows to show that. So I'm going to draw a few different arrows showing those little guys floating and flying up into the sky. There we go. Look at that. There they are. They're all going up. And that's evaporation. Now I'm going to change my color again, and I'm going to use blue to show precipitation. Precipitation is when the cloud gets so heavy that the water molecules turn back into water. From water vapor, they turn back into water and they fall down onto the earth. And I want to show that as well. So I'm going to draw some arrows, one for the snow, show these ones for the water on the plant, water into the earth, and even water into groundwater and water back into the ocean. There we go. And that's collection. Now I did it. I have a beautiful picture of the entire water cycle right here. And I can go and describe the water cycle to anyone. I can tell them all about what's happening in my picture and what's happening with the water cycle. Can't wait to see your finished picture. Please take a picture of your finished water cycle and add it to your seesaw. If you can, an even better thing to do would be to describe what's happening in the water cycle using your picture. I can't wait to see your work. Have fun.